Well, today we're taking a look at the overdrive pedals in the Hotone Ampero II stage. Last week I was shooting a video with my brand new Boss SD1, which is my favorite overdrive pedal, which I use to boost my analog amps. And I compared the rear unit, to some of the models in that come with my modeling units, like the Fractal Audio FM9 or the Valeton GP-200. And that led me to the question, how in general do the drive blocks sound in these units? And I'm usually a guy who doesn't experiment that much with OD pedals. Mostly I use them if I need more gain, and I would like to, well, cut some highs and lows maybe at the input signal. And usually what I do is I use the 808, or if I need more distortion, the SD1. But today I would also like to check out the other ones. So I'm using the Hotone Ampero II stage. Here's the editor. And currently I'm playing one preset, which will be included in the next reincarnation of my preset pack for that unit. You may know that I offer preset packs with the best high gain tones ever for all the units on the market. And if you would like to get these, as always, please contact me on Facebook or Instagram. Find the links in the description below. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I like to check out budget guitar gear, expensive guitar gear, and especially guitars. Here, these Harley Benton Fusions, but also other Harley Benton guitars or other brand guitars. Find lots of these videos on my channel where I'm checking gear. Anyway, so that is a clone which I did from my new DSP called Cortex Live Tone. And it's a new feature that you can do clones of other gear here, that unit. So I did this. Let's turn off the delay. This is the sound without anything except a little bit of EQing, where I'm dialing out some lows, and a noise gate here. The unit is quite noisy, so you need the noise gate. And yeah, these are the settings. You may hear that it's already quite saturated, has a little bit of a room reflection. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, let's reduce the volume. But we want to try out overdrive pedals, so let's reduce the gain. At least a little bit. And here we have the drive section. So if you turn that on, you have all these nice drive blocks. Some of these are also available in the cheaper units, like the Hotone Ampero Generation 1 and also the Valeton GP-200, the Sonic Cake Matrix box. They all share kind of the same software. I think they belong to the same head company. So let's start with a green drive. We are in scene 2, so you cannot change the effects in scene 2, only in scene 1. Immediately you can hear that it starts to there is a noise happening. So what we do is we place a noise gate here, and yeah, let's start with a setting which is maybe typical. for most users. But from my experience, here you don't need the full volume. Yeah, reduce the gain a little bit more. Sounds good to me. And as I said, this is a go-to unit for me. Okay, so let's go to the next unit. System processing power is insufficient. This is something which happens in a lot of situations here. I think the unit doesn't have that much CPU power, so we don't need the cap section here. Hopefully that will help. You can see we can use it. It gets more saturation. Needs more saturation, I think. Okay. It always goes back to the same initial settings, I think. That is a little bit weird. Okay. Maybe then we should reduce the gain here. And we can operate with the stock settings that the unit thinks are the best. Okay. Has a little bit more grit. That's lacking here. I think the 808 has more mids and less highs and lows than the green, the TS9. My favorite one, but this is better for amps with less gain. I know it's not my favorite one. I think the Super OD is the SD1. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, this has way more gain, so let's reduce it. Also, it has less lows. It's quite noisy. If we disengage the EQ. The thing is, if we cut a lot of the frequencies, the bass frequencies in the drive block, then we have to add them afterwards, and therefore I don't need the EQ then. Now, this sounds a little bit weak to me, to be honest, with this amp at least. Swarm drive, what is this? We have the nice explanation here, Stampede OD, okay. Has lots of lower mids, not that helpful. It reminds me of the OCD, full tone OCD. Here you can see. That's the high pass and the low pass mode. Usually what happens if you add more of the highs in the OD pedal, then you will have more saturation, more distortion. But also more noise. So if you use this in the low pass mode, you have way less distortion, I think, and less noise than the high pass mode. As you can hear. Yeah, but this is the full tone OCD. I was jumping to that because this reminded me of that. Okay, Super OD. Maybe, I don't know if this is the SD1, I didn't check the manual, but because Boss, I think they have the super distortion. Super overdrive. So I would usually use the SD1 typical with the Marshall JCM 800 that doesn't have that much gain. So this is a modded tube screamer. I think the like the SD9 or how is it called, TS9. But usually the modded version comes with more highs and lows. Therefore we need more gain here, I think. Okay. As you can see here. Well, these sound pretty similar, I have to say, the green drive for Green 9 and the Scream Mood. But I think the 808 is the easiest one because it's boosting only the mids and therefore reducing unwanted highs and lows. So, Blues Driver, another boss, I think. Never used that. I have a Boss GX700 which comes with the analog circuits, I think, of the of some of the Boss ODs, and it's in there. Also has a little bit too much bass for my taste. Maybe would work better with a blues amp. Okay, we had that already. Tube clipper. Okay. BK Butler tube driver. Maybe some kind of a boutique pedal. It's dead quiet if you set the gain to 0. Seems to have a lot of gain, so but it tends to get flubby here. Well, Blues Butter. Okay, Grand Driver. Of course, you're more flexible if the pedal has bass, middle, and treble control. But honestly, if you want to boost the bits, then why should you choose another pedal than the 808? So what else do we have? Zen Garden. We have a voice control here. Okay, it seems to boost some frequencies. I like it if it's turned off, to be honest. Maybe a little bit more highs. How does this sound without anything? Wonder what the voice control does. It adds more higher mids, and then it tends to distort. Okay. Anyway, yeah, the gate settings are a little bit. Wow, there's a lot of pedals here. Okay. Run through these a little bit quicker, at least the ones which it seems to have a very short attack. Or does it have to do something with the gate settings? Feels somehow like... Okay, maybe it's also the end here. Feels just like there is a built-in gate. Okay, to be honest, I don't know if these are distortion or OD pedals, so I bet this would be a distortion pedal for leads. Work great as both overdrive and clean boost. Okay. Needs a lot of saturation here. One of the better ones. Okay. Precision drive. Designed by Misha Mansour, progressive musicians. Ah, this comes with the built-in gate, okay. I think I've heard of that. Yeah, you can hear the gate definitely. But you need more gain with that amp setting at least. Sounds a little bit thin to me. So what if we use it with more gain? This gain here. It doesn't work that well. And I think this unit has a little bit of a problem with the background noise and the distortion tones. Cochrane Timmy overdrive pedal, okay. It's also one of the better sounding pedals here you can choose. Noble ODR1. Also not bad. Fuzz pedal. Okay. So let's move on. Let's skip the fuzz pedals. Distortion. What I like about that unit is that it has these explanations here. And also, I think it has a lot of good sounding OD pedals. And most of them are really usable. So at least I can imagine that they can be used with certain kinds of amps. Shredmaster Marshall. I think these shred pedals, they tend to create a lot of background noise. Okay. Yeah, well, it may sound like an 80s shred tone, but it's not the most pleasant. Crunch is also nice for boosting. Metal Land. Okay, this might be Metal Zone. Yeah, okay, here you have to play around with the mid frequency. I think you can reduce some of the annoying mids. Therefore, it's pretty flexible. Actually, I think the pedal isn't that bad, but you have to dial it in carefully. But it's not a boost pedal, so I played my my original Metal Zone. Tried it out with a tube power amp into a 4x12. You can get really good tones out of that. Pleximaker. Click on to get hot rodded British lead amp tones. Yeah. That's a great thing here. I've never seen that pleximaker before. Also nice. Freedom pedal. That is maybe a amp simulation or a preamp simulation. Drive pedal. Pedal designed for bass. Okay, bass OD, bass hammer. These are maybe the bass pedals. Bass grinder. Bass pedal, except for dynamic range. Okay. Well, as the name says, maybe it's good for bass tones. For guitar, it doesn't sound good. Analog bass. Ah, okay. These are the bass. Let's play around with this. As I don't know what that is. Inspired by the legendary Brown sound amp. You can definitely hear. The characteristics of that, yes. And I think a surprise were these things here, the Marshallish Pleximaker and the Panama Lead. But yeah, that's it for today. Quite a long video, but I think the unit has great OD pedals, and especially the first ones, they're also available in the Valeton. So if you're interested in these, please check out my videos, and yeah, other than that, subscribe to my channel. Adios.